Welcome to Jager's Garage. In this video we're going to be fixing an old toy hauler camper thing I made years ago. Basically, turn this around. I built this on the back of a fifth wheel camper. Hydraulics where you could put 4 sleds, or you could actually put a side-by-side and 4 four-wheelers on it and lift the deck up. But I just grabbed a cheap camper and didn't really know all the places to look for rot on a camper at the time. And the first trip out, the camper itself just started falling apart, and that's actually why I moved the other axle forward there and then added one there, which is to try and get the axle shifted forward so the rotted part of the camper wouldn't be taken up as much. But then I picked up this one that I'm going to be putting onto this frame, which this one's actually a lot shorter. I think it's like a 20 something and that other one's like a 34 foot, so it's huge, but it was cheap. It's bigger than I wanted, but had enough room for everybody. This one's gonna be a little tighter. Well, most kids are gone now too. So yeah, gonna be pulling that out, pulling the axles out of it, slapping it up on top of here, and then building some reinforcements into the neck here too to help. Because I didn't do that on the last one. It was all buried up in. It wasn't out and exposed like this. And well, I figured it'd be fine, but actually I think it would have been if it wasn't so rotten, because it was just the one, actually this side up here on the other one all collapsed. The other side was completely fine. And then the very back of that other one, the whole back end just, the whole very back wall basically was coming out of it. So this one seems to be in better shape. It did have a little bit of a spot there, but I don't know. That's what you get when you're being cheap. So that's where we're at with this. Get them pulled around in front of the shop, get it lifted up, get those axles out. But first I got to get this Clark forklift working better. I had a whole video I was going to do on it, but when I was transferring it to the computer to edit it, the files got corrupted. Basically did a carburetor rebuild kit, put in an adjustable jet. For the steering, you can actually see one end of it here. I was unable to get the valve to work right on the old style steering. There we go. So I just built a bracket to put a regular hydraulic cylinder in there. And then just kind of, you can probably see it better from here, welded the end into the rod there, but it's working with the orbital and everything. Other than that, I threw chains on it just because, well, you just saw it stuck and it was worse without chains, so it's just gonna live with chains. Leak popped up from the valve there, but for my uses it should be fine. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go try looking up hotter spark plugs. I mean, that little guy with the old Wisconsin air-cooled works like a champ. It's just, it really gets stuck everywhere and it can't lift much. Like I got that so that I'd be able to lift like those big diesel engines over there and that backhoe attachment, which is actually able to move it to there with it, but I need to get those supports off. It's too awkward with those on it. And yeah. Well, this one doesn't fare much better than the other one in the soft stuff. we got over in front of the shop, I need to cut the drainage pipes, which I've left open for months now, but apparently there's still a little bit in there. And then get it up on some stands so I can pull those axles out. Alright, I'm going to start. First, got to get them pipes out of the way. And then I think I'm actually going to, when it gets close, bring each forklift in from the side to pick the back up so we can get that other frame pushed under there. This is going to be the trickiest part. Alright, I got to cut the drain pipes out. I'm going to try and cut them back just so the other frame will clear, maybe a little farther. I might, when I put it back together, run them up to the front here. Alright, I'm going to pop the tires off so I can get to the welds that are behind them. Alright, got the axle all disconnected, both sides. Got allergies going on. Got the forklifts under either side, so we can roll that up under it. Now we just got to get that over here. Got to move these lips from part of the old stuff so I can get it behind the stairs. That I had and the other one are running in the edge there, so I'm gonna have to trim them up. First, cookie break. Okay, I got it all put together. I'll have to lift that up because it's a little bowed there. But first I'm gonna weld the back over here so that it stays when I lift the front up. Alright, got all the front frame section welded up. Now I'm going to lift up the back and get some jack stands under it so I can move the axles back with the truck. Alright, we're going to have to cut stuff out to get the axle moved back here, but first I need to undo these clamps holding the hydraulic lines and the lighting out of the way so that I can then cut that off. Yeah, I know, jerry rig, but it's quick and in a pinch. And then we're actually going to have to cut this side panel off here, kind of like that one, and cut the 6-inch beam down to like a 2-inch like that, so there will be room for the other tire in here. Once we take the axle and slide it from there, which was a quick shift when the old camper was falling apart to try and transfer some weight. And that's how this whole getup came about. You can see actually right there is where the rear axle used to be before everything got shifted forward to take weight off the tongue and try and make that camper last longer. But now we're going to shift it all the way back and then get metal and beef up the tongue on this one. So let me get these out of here. Alright, now I just need to narrow this down for tire clearance, kind of like I did that one. Oh, can't see that one. But yeah, so. Now I just got to measure up and put my spring hangers on here. Alright, now go weld the new brackets on. Gonna get the forklift all fired up and let it warm up for a bit, because otherwise it doesn't like to move. So I can lift the back of this and move the axles. Now we gotta undo all the spring mounts so we can slide the axles back. I got the side boxes welded on from the old setup. Mounted the hydraulic pump, hooked the lines up. It's going to change eventually. I'm going to put a valve right in here, in that post probably, so that I can put a hydraulic cylinder in the front through there, so you can actually make it less steep and bring it down. Plus, if you're just running sleds, you can have the whole thing lower, or just wheelers, as opposed to side-by-side where it needs to be that high to fit it in there. Here in a minute, when that's done warming up, I'm going to be grabbing the old frame from the old camper over there and bringing it up closer so I can reach it with a cut-off wheel to cut pieces out to finish the frame through the front here. So right now it ends there. I need to bring it up through the front and along the fifth wheel portion to make it strong enough to support the extra weight. I got this bigger forklift, one, because it could lift enough to move a semi-engine, and two, so I'd get stuck less, but I'm still getting stuck. Okay, so that's a lot shorter now. Took extra pieces off it. Still need to paint, but extended the frame out, plated the corners, put the gussets in the corner there, just like kind of like what they had before, and got crossbars in here. And then kind of put this front one in at an angle. Just, I don't know, seemed like a good idea. And then cut that at an angle on the edge and smashed it in just so it's all closed. There's a little hole there from torching parts off it at one point, but it should be fine. So got all that welded in. Now I need to move it. I just had it over here so I could get it all welded up. But there's holes all through here from getting the forklift stuck, dealing with that to keep it kind of level. But on the forklift front, it's burning a lot of oil. It's probably going to need a new engine soon. But in order to kind of help with that and the plug fouling, so I had to take them out and sandblast them once since getting it going just a couple days ago. This whole process it's been a week since I first started making this video, I believe. But I got some like 4-stage hotter spark plugs, so I'm gonna swap them out on this and hope that it's hot enough to keep the oil burned off them. Well, I got all that moved. Dodge warming up. Just need to back it up. Move that S10. crater here.